Welcome back, everybody. My name is Raze Chaos. You've made it back to my channel, and it is a Wednesday, and you know what happens on the Wednesdays, because Raze, if it's not a short, then you know you're getting a comic book cover, because Wednesdays on Raze Chaos's channel is a new comic book day. And, oh God, has he got one for you this time. This one is, this issue is, what is it, 168. This is issue of Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, number 168. This came out in 1980. And this is one of the things that Raze absolutely loves about these comics, or about these comic covers, and what they can do with them. Because a special thing about this issue is this is from Frank Miller's run in 1980. And I'm like really foreshadowing what this is. And even on the cover, it flat out says, Elektra, once he loved her, now she is his most deadly enemy. And if you haven't put that together yet, yes, this is in fact the first appearance of Elektra. And we're going to go ahead and put this guy away, and we're going to talk about it. Yeah, this is an absolute addition that Raze would do, because he likes the idea of doing the first appearances of characters, which I think is absolutely perfect thing to do. And now we'll go on the complaint area, and that is the fact that it's Daredevil on here and not Elektra. This is Elektra's first appearance. So it would make sense. I mean, if you want to darken her, or if you want to full-on show her costume on this, I mean, you're not revealing anything. This came out in 1980. Everybody knows what Elektra looks like now. So this would be an absolute talking piece as far as if you were a big Elektra fan, to have this with an Elektra figure on there, and be able to say, yes, this is what her first appearance looked like. And obviously she's set by the Kingpin. But she is the top. She takes over from Bullseye as far as being his most relied on assassin. But not only is this the first appearance of Elektra, this is also her origin story. So like, they full on, they mention once he loved her, they go ahead and give the backstory of Matt Murdock and Elektra's history, and part of how they met. Of course, later on, Frank Miller would go ahead and continue the story of Elektra's story in more detail, but this is where it all got started. And yeah, it just would make more sense to me to have Elektra right there, because yeah, this is where she first appeared. But to date, the only Elektra we have is where Elektra takes over as Daredevil, and she's not in her current costume. She's not in her classic costume. Like, it's in this one weird story-based costume, which I'm absolutely fine with, but give us the original. Put Elektra right there. Let it go. It's just like, we've gotten some Daredevil covers, but and I mean, honestly, this is probably my favorite Daredevil figure of all they've done, but primarily because it has the shading that Frank Miller used to use. So this is my favorite of the figures, but at the same time, I really wish, especially since he's not even, the comic doesn't even have him looking outward towards you. So you'd have to turn him to mimic the pose, which isn't so much of just him holding the billy club. Yeah, it just makes no sense to me to not have Elektra be that. And so yeah, while Raze does love his comic book covers, nothing is perfect, and there's always room for criticism, and that would be Raze's criticism for this particular issue. it's a great issue. One of the things I love about the whole saga of that Frank Miller created with Elektra was that he had created her and he killed her. He wanted to tell Elektra's story from start to finish, and he absolutely did that. And it wasn't up to him that Marvel decided, hey, Elektra has to come back, because he felt bringing Elektra back kind of took away from the impact that her death caused on Daredevil. And he's not wrong about that. But yeah, it's just it's one of those things where Marvel saw money, where Frank Miller saw story. And for as crazy as Frank Miller has ended up becoming, I'd still side with him on this on this one. I know Elektra has gone on; she's had her story, but like even with everything that they've done with Elektra, they always go back to her death. They always reference that, and then they have to come up with a new way how she came back and everything. But if you ask Frank Miller, he says Elektra is dead. He killed her off, and that was meant to be final. But unfortunately, death doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot in comics. We will say that. But so this is the start of the Elektra saga. The story of Elektra and her relationship with the Kingpin, her relationship with Matt Murdock. Foggy Nelson, this was a huge impact on Daredevil, and it's a big part of Daredevil's story, honestly, the whole Elektra saga. While it has gotten watered down the longer it's gone on, one of the things I enjoy doing when I really think about it, Raze has read a lot of stuff. He's read a lot of Daredevil. He's read a lot of Batman. He's read a lot of just about every character. The thing is they're going to keep pumping these issues out as long as they keep selling. The trick that Raze has found anyway is basically, just because the issue exists doesn't mean that has to fit into what they say is canon. The best part about comics is there are so many. You can create your own canon in your mind. You can keep it like, okay, well, yeah, this is how I want it to be, and this is how I want it to stay. And you can read something and decide, you know what, I'm not going to keep this in my continuity in my head. That doesn't count. Or you can say, oh, I like what they did this, and I like how they did this. I think I will go ahead and incorporate this into my own continuity, which is one of the fun of comics. It's part of the interaction that comics bring that other media can't even touch, is just how interactive it is. And we can love and appreciate the new stuff that comes out. And if we don't like what's coming out, we don't have to even feel like it counts. So, yeah, Raze gets a little funny when it comes to that. But you know what? To create your own, if there's any medium you can create your own universe in, it is comics. And, mentally, Raze has his own condensed version of the Batman story. And it includes everything that he really appreciated about it and leaves out a lot of the stuff that he didn't. So, Daredevil's the same way. So this is a great story. This is a great issue. This is a great piece of that particular continuity, and it is one of the pieces that Raze was really happy that they made. So yeah, Frank Miller cover, first appearance of Elektra, origin story of Elektra even. This is a hard one not to enjoy, and if you're more into Daredevil, the Daredevil aspect of it, this is absolutely perfect. If you're more into the Elektra aspect, you probably wish it was Elektra, on the cover. Raze being a overall fan of everything would have preferred Elektra on this cover, but he loves the Daredevil figure that they used. But you could check out, if you've enjoyed these things, you know, Raze gets every friggin' comic book cover that comes out, with the exception of Star Wars. But you can always count on, as long as they keep making them, Raze is going to be putting them on Wednesdays, because he's going to be collecting every single one of them as they come out. Whether they're Marvel, whether they're DC, whether they're the few independents that they've actually done. And in all honesty, kind of wish they would do more independents. Because that gives Raze the opportunity to talk about them. And you know how Raze likes to talk. But you can check out the playlist, see if there's an issue that you particularly like that you didn't even know they made a cover of. But at any rate, I hope you found this informative. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you come back for more. But never forget that life is full of odd moments, and you never know when you're going to be defined.